Hey, so manifestation is easier than you're making it. You're making it way harder than it needs to be. And I saw one yesterday, it was like 9 steps to manifesting or something like that. And in her video, she was talking about that you'll get challenged along the way and you're going to get tested. You're going to receive this test. And if you pass or fail, that determines whether you're manifesting or not. That's just a bunch of bullshit. I don't know. I mean, maybe this person genuinely believed that, but you're not being tested and you have to pass a test. And if you don't pass it, then you're not going to manifest. We're overcomplicating it. It doesn't need to be that hard. It's just if you feel like you're being tested, then, or if you feel like you need to be tested, then you're going to be tested. We're the creators. We're the ones that make the decision when manifesting. We've put manifestations on a pedestal. And I've talked about this in other videos, but it's like we need to take everything down a peg because we have done a great job of just externalizing all of our happiness and unintentionally keeping it away from ourselves. And it's like we feel like because it's some human thing that we were programmed that we have to, we have to pass a test or, it's like work hard and you get good grades and that's how you blah, blah, blah. Well, then a lot of us worked hard and got good grades and then, got a ton of student loan debt. So how well did that really work out? And then we're already burnt out like in our 30s. Maybe you're one of those people and you're trying to figure out a way to turn it around. Like you're thinking there has to be more than this. It has to be, I feel like I should be feeling better than I am feeling. And you should be feeling better. That needs to be the new normal. That needs to be the new standard. Things should be a lot easier than what we're making them. And manifestation is very simple. We're doing it all the time. I don't even like the term manifestation anymore because of all the connotations. It's like some idealistic thing that you go out and you make a vision board and and you just look at a picture and then you're going to get tests along the way, and if you pass the test, then no. It's not like that. Manifestations are just living, it's existing. Everything is a manifestation. Life is a manifestation. Someone said that what you're experiencing is the algorithm of your life. Like how on Instagram, whatever you're seeing is based on the algorithm of what you've looked at. I think that's a great analogy. All manifestation is it's the wiring of your mind, and it's what you're conditioned and prepared to see and experience. And then that's what you're going to experience. You're doing it all the time. You're just usually doing it negatively. Every time you've had a thought like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen, or, I feel like this is going to happen, or I feel like bad news is coming, or so, that's all manifesting. You're all manifesting it. What we're trying to do here is intentionally grab the reins of our lives and, and take over and make the decision of what we want and then experience it. And that all starts in the mind. It's a very simple thing. We like to overcomplicate it and we think that everything has to have 10,000 steps to it. It doesn't. At the end of the day, manifestation is just you're rewiring your mind and being very intentional about what you want to experience in your life. That's all it is. And how you get there is up to you. There's subliminals, there's affirmations, there's scripting, there's vision boards that can absolutely be a part of it, visualizing. But it's just, somewhere along the way, we decided to take this very simple thing and just really, really overcomplicate it when it doesn't need to be. So you just pick what works for you. Or you pick one thing, you look at it like a science experiment and you say, I'm going to give this 30 days. That's all you need to do. Just look at it like it's an experiment and try to get your, preconceived notions out of the way and just say, I'm going to commit to this for 30 days and see what happens. And just, when you catch yourself wavering, because you will, because you're not sure, you haven't seen the evidence yet of whether this is going to work. Well, you think you haven't seen it. Actually, all the negative things that have come about in your life, that is the evidence that this stuff does work. It's what you focus on is what you experience more of, and then you just get more and more of it. So pick something, give it 30 days at least, and just look at it like a scientist and just trust it. What's the worst that could happen? You're going to be out, are you really going to be out 30 days because you were intentionally more positive? I mean, I don't see what there is to lose, basically. So what you're doing when you're doing the scripting, the affirmations, the vision board, the visualizing, the SATs, the whatever it is, whatever technique, you pick one, and all that's doing is rewiring your mind. And the more you saturate it, the quicker you see the results. I've talked about this before. You can either really hammer at this hard and very quickly change your life, especially if you want to do like a whole life glow up or whatever. You really commit to it and go at it hard, and you kill off that old ego as quick as possible. That the sooner you're going to see results. So, it's not that one technique works and another one doesn't work. It's not. It's basically a placebo effect, if anything, because we're really the creators here. So we get to decide. So you either decide it works or you decide it doesn't work. But I think a little hack is that because we think that we need to put in effort and action, we need to take action steps because we're so action oriented, trick your brain and pick, subliminals, or pick affirmations, or pick scripting, and that's your action. That's what's going to get you to do something. You don't necessarily need to do that. You could literally just make a decision one day, never question it, think about it again, and it would manifest. But a lot of us aren't wired that way, so we have to kind of go around this. We have to go around our programming. And the more you do it, you will drop off those limiting beliefs. More and more, they will just fall away. You get to choose what speed, like I said before. I've kind of done it in a slower pace because I've tried different techniques, and I did a lot of battling of that this doesn't work and this is bullshit. And I had a lot of rewiring that needed to be done. So it took me a little bit longer, but now that I'm kind of on the other side of it, I see how this works, and it's stupid how simple it is. It really is. All it is just rewiring your mind so that you are expecting something good. You're expecting, the outcome that you really want. And if it hasn't worked, it's because you gave up too soon or you wavered too much. It's really, it only comes down to like those two things. You gave up too soon. You didn't believe in it. You didn't give it a long enough time. You weren't that scientist that stuck it out and stuck out the experiment. That's it. There doesn't need to be 9 pillars of anything, and you don't need to be tested. Like I said, if you think you need to be tested, then you're going to be tested because we are the creators. You can only perceive your life through your lens. Just like how two people can look at the exact same thing and experience the exact same thing and have completely different outcomes, and they could report that things were 2 completely different ways. It's because you can only perceive it through your own lens. So don't worry about what Bobby Sue or whoever is doing. Just stay in your own lane and worry about you and work on yourself, and do the best you can to ignore all the outside circumstances. But if it's not working, it's because you're looking for results, which is putting out that signal that you don't believe it. It's all about getting yourself to believe it. And in the beginning, yeah, it feels like you're lying to yourself. It is going to be like that, but you will come to believe it because all a belief is a thought you've continued to think over and over and over again. So just think a new thought and really start going on that, and do affirmations or do subliminals to help you. Then you feel like, oh, I'm taking an action step. So this is really working, and it will. And then you'll start to see little bits of evidence, and it will just further your experiment because you'll be seeing the results, which then just creates that cycle. It's not always going to be this like hard work. I mean, it's not really that hard, really, if you're just affirming that. How hard is that really? But it's going to get easier. That's the thing. That's the positive thing about all this. It gets easier. It's just that you're trying to retrain your mind, and you've had however many decades you've been alive of experience and thoughts of the same thing. It's like, if you want something different, do something different. If you want something different, think different thoughts. That's all it is. And just really give it a fair shot, and don't go looking for results. You'll get to a point where when you visualize it enough, when you affirm enough or whatever, that you will believe it. And then it just gets easier and easier and easier. That's what we're trying to do. We're putting in the hard work, on the front end, so that on the back end it's just smooth sailing, because it will get easier and easier to have these positive thoughts, because that old ego will die off, the new one will take over, and then, that's not to say you can just set it on cruise control, but it is going to be a lot easier because your natural default setting will change, and it will be much more positive, which makes it easier to intentionally create what you want. Again, that's all manifestation is. Some things that help people, especially if you're trying to manifest like abundance, money, some people look at what are the negatives. if you're a naturally negative person, you want this to feel sort of natural. So you could be like, oh, and I got what am I gonna do with all this money? And then I gotta learn about investing or this and that. Because it's not like that you're gonna just get a big pile of money and then all your problems are gonna be solved and then it's just like everything's perfect. Yes, you're gonna feel better if you're rewiring your mind, but it's just going to show you that the manifestation doesn't need to be this thing up here, because the more it's like up here in this out of reach thing, you will always keep it out of reach. So take it down a peg, and again, just simplify it. Just go, oh yeah, all I'm doing is rewiring my mind. It's that simple. I'm not gonna like wake up tomorrow and do this quantum leaping stuff like that, and I'm just gonna wake up in this new reality. Maybe over time you will feel different and you will feel better, of course, because you're working on your mental health, for crying out loud. So yeah, that is gonna feel better, but you're not gonna like all of a sudden wake up as Cinderella one day. I guess there's people out there that believe that, but if you want to, that's fine. But I'm just saying it doesn't need to be quite this esoteric thing that is so mystical. It's just rewiring your mind, and your mind is just so powerful. And you will see synchronicities, and it will feel like cool, but it just doesn't need to be complicated. That's all. What else do I want to say about that? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, it's like they think bad things happen to them, and then they start blaming God, like, God did this to me. I've been forgotten about. No, you're just in your own flipping way. It's your mind, getting in the way. That's all it is. You're not being punished. It's just for whatever reason, your belief system growing up was programmed to be more negative. So you just gotta rewire. Big deal. Just do what you gotta do and move forward. I mean, how bad do you want change? That's what it comes down to too. I was thinking about, I hate to use the Kardashians here as an example, but it's what popped in my head. So I was thinking about Khloe Kardashian. Do you remember how, like, back in the day, she always felt like the overweight one or the unattractive one or whatever, which is bullshit. It's not true. She's always been beautiful. But then she did this transformation finally, and now she's like super into fitness. Now people have said she's gone too far, so let's not take it that far, but you get the idea of the metaphor here. She decided to become this new person that gets up early and works out because it feels good to her. It's not like she's not like trying to fight like this in every single day, like starve herself and like force herself to go to the gym. It's just become this natural habit. And that's kind of what happens. It's like you want to embody the new identity. So you take on those things that person, what would someone that's a fitness fanatic do? That's like really healthy and really into fitness and really, cares about not necessarily their aesthetic body, but how they feel, their energy levels, all those things. You look at that person and you start to kind of embody those characteristics. And the funny thing is, it's almost tricky how it happens, because a lot of times you don't even realize. Like, you've seen fitness influencers, they talk about that, where they think, they look back at pictures from years ago and they're like, oh, I miss my body back then. And they have like no awareness of how good they look right now. So, that's what I mean about, it's not like you wake up tomorrow and you're in Cinderella land. It almost like sneaks up on you, and it kind of happens and you don't realize it. And it becomes this normal thing, because when you visualized it enough, your brain perceives it and like normalizes it, and it's not this thing up on a pedestal. And then that's kind of how it happens gradually, and you almost don't realize it when you're in the middle of it. So that could be, maybe, I guess you could say that'd be a negative side of manifesting, that you don't even realize it, and then it's like, are you still happy? So that's a different topic for a whole nother day, but you get my point, that it doesn't need to be this far off thing or this complicated thing. And by the way, I don't have it all figured out. I'm figuring it out with you, and I'm sharing with you as I go. So I'm not claiming to be perfect. I never will be, but I'm just right there in the trenches with you guys. So, but I've just come to a lot of these realizations, and I've had a lot of shifts, in my wiring, and my life has improved quite a bit. My emotional state, I feel a lot more regulated. I don't feel so like up and down all the time, and I do see there are changes that are happening in my life for the better, and other people are noticing it too. So, not to say that I'm perfect, but I'm right there with you. All you want to do is you're going to make a decision And it's done after that. After that, it's done. I watched this really cool video recently with Bob Proctor, who's no longer with us, but he was an awesome guy. And he was talking about the single most important thing is you making the decision. A lot of times he was saying people say, well, I'll buy the new car when I get the new pile of money, or, I'll go after the new job when such and such aligns, or this happens. And he said that's the downfall. The successful people that you see that are really successful, they make a decision and then they do not waver after that. It's done. They know it's done. I think that a lot of times what happens is we do this pros and cons, pros and cons. Well, what if? And we get so afraid of making the wrong decision. Well, there is no wrong decision. It's just you make the decision and then you go with it. Because anything you pick is going to have pros and cons. So I think that's another false belief that a lot of us have, that there's one right decision. And if we don't make it, we don't find it, we're screwed. Or, God will be disappointed in us. I lived by that for a long time. And so then I was searching and never finding an answer, because if you're searching for something, that's a very different vibration than finding something or finding a solution. A problem and a solution are on completely different sides. So it feels very different. So just relax, cut down on your anxiety by just going, I have to make a decision. I'm making it and it's going to work out for the best. And then just going with your affirmations or your subliminals or your scripting or whatever, and assuming that that was the best possible thing to have happen. And then let it go. So like I said, do all of your worrying before you make the decision, then make it, and then it's done. All right? That's all I got for today. Peace out. Like and subscribe. I'm out.